Hello there. It's Most Things Kenobi. This is the podcast you're looking for.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Most Things Kenobi, a podcast about Obi-Wan Kenobi and all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Leanne.
And I'm your host, Lauren. So today we are being joined by some very, very special guests, our friends from ConverSWations, ConverSWations. We have Charles and Pat. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
You make our name sound so awkward.
What?
What?
It rolls off the
Charles
tongue, doesn't
and Pat.
No, we've been looking forward to this for sure.
Yeah, thank you. And after you had us on your show so generously, we're sorry it took so long to coordinate our schedules.
We blame Kenobi.
Exactly. It's PK and PK. It's pre-Kenobi, post-Kenobi. Don't worry about it. That was like
true.
That was the fulcrum.
Hey! I love this. This is why we love them. And why this had to happen again, and I hope it's not the last time, honestly.
It will not.
No.
It's an ongoing series at this point.
Honestly, we laugh so much all together. We just, like, when you're with the right Star Wars group, you just get everyone's inside joke right away. It's always so much fun.
But thank you so much for having us. We've been looking forward to this for a long time since you guys were on our show, and this definitely is the start of a series because you guys are a blast, and you guys are great Star Wars friends.
Oh, same.
It's really always a pleasure to catch up with you ladies and really get to the bottom of the Star Wars nerdiness.
Yes. Which I think we all excel at quite well. We bring it from all levels. Yeah. So Lauren and I wanted to obviously start with talking about the Kenobi series since it happened. That happened. Yeah. Period. And then we're going to talk about Andor because that hasn't happened yet. But it is September 1st as of the date that we're recording this. And we are officially in Andor month.
Yep.
Countdown.
We're counting down. So I have some quick introductory questions that I just kind of wondered if you guys be willing to answer. Like, how did you guys become friends?
Oh, boy.
I usually get this wrong because I'm old. So why don't you take it, Pat?
Oh, you're not old. You're aged like a fine wine.
Aged? Like Gandalf.
Yes.
Wise. Seasoned.
Seasoned.
Right?
Like a good steak. Oh, now I'm hungry. Yeah, okay. So, well, we met many years ago. Through our wives, actually, who have been regretting it ever since. Additionally, we annoy them with our nerdiness, and they said, "Hey, all this stuff you talk about, do it over there into a computer." And we were like, "All right." So that's the short version of how everything kind of panned out for us. But yeah, many years. 10 years now?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, at least 10 years, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
We met at was it like a holiday party, I think, right? We were all sitting at the same table.
It was. So far, you've got it correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And you dropped like a Star Wars reference, and I
did,
got it.
as I often do.
I picked up what you were laying down.
Despite my wife having said, don't be a major nerd. Well, that goes against my programming, so guess what?
You found a fellow nerd.
I did.
If you don't put nerd out there, you're not going to connect with other nerds. You got to kind of test the waters sometimes and see.
Right, which I think was my wife's fear at the time, which was realized when I started speaking. But then, then of course, Charles was literally across the table from me.
Yeah.
Yes, because they were across from each other and we were across from each other. And, so then we hit some rocky terrain there when he made a couple Star Trek references. But, it's fine. It's fine. We're past it. We are past it, aren't we?
Totally.
Okay,
We're past it.
good. Okay.
Good to clarify.
Charles is just a closet Star Trek watcher. He's only watching it on his phone under the blankets.
What are you doing? Nothing?
Nothing?
No Star Trek in
What are
here.
you doing, Kirk? I mean, nothing?
My wife is a huge Star Trek fan. She's in love with Captain Kirk.
We don't hold it against her.
So it's definitely not a whole house divided. She likes Star Wars as well, but she prefers Star Trek. So it's very much like a Game of Thrones sometimes. But yes.
Well, hopefully with less bloodshed.
Exactly.
But interestingly enough, you both love Game of Thrones.
Yes.
All right, well, we don't want to get on the topic of Game of Thrones because I will burst a blood vessel somewhere in my body.
You've got Targaryen and Stark stuff
I
going.
absolutely
I know.
Daenerys is still my queen. I don't give a fuck about season 8.
Wait, there was a season 8?
Exactly, Pat. Exactly, Pat. This is why they're guests on our show. Not just because they're Star Wars and they're funny and they're vibrant as hell. Their personalities are just everything, but they know.
We understand.
Yes.
And the new series is phenomenal. Okay.
I'm gonna binge it when it's over if I can get over it.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
Gotcha.
Okay.
This is for your side podcast about...
Yeah, this is the side podcast to the podcast. So
There we go.
Right. It's a sub-podcast.
Okay, so overall, what was your overall reaction to the Kenobi series? Did you love it? Did you like part of it? How did you guys feel? Charles, do you want to go first?
Yes, I think for me it started out slow. I was happy to have the first 2 episodes come out because it sort of gave sort of a cadence to what was coming, and I think that it really ended up phenomenally. I love the way it ended. The story beats that they completed, they landed the series perfectly. So as much as there's things that I didn't necessarily like throughout the series, the last episode just blew me away.
Nice. Same
Yeah.
here.
Same. Yeah.
Pat, what about you?
Well, I didn't see the show, so
You gotta leave.
Well, okay, so actually,
He's just sitting there in full Kenobi cosplay from the show.
Yeah,
but he's never
from
seen
the
it.
show.
I saw behind the scenes photos or whatever. No, I love Kenobi. I love Ewan McGregor, and I love just everything about Kenobi. So that's why I love you guys so much. But so sweet. So I was actually in Africa when the finale aired.
Oh, that's right. Your trip.
And yeah, so I was like, all right, it's fine. We'll have Wi-Fi at certain times of the day, and I have Disney Plus, so we're fine. So I go to log on, and it's like, oh, well, you're on a Disney Plus from the States, and you're not in the States, so whoops.
Yeah.
So I couldn't access it, and I was like, oh wait, how did this happen? I'm smarter than this. So that a good friend of mine, Rob from the Jedi Temple Archives podcast, he was like, hey, so I have this VPN thing. And anyway, long story short, I got hooked up by Friday.
Oh, so not too long.
So, yeah, it was 2 days. But then, since our Wi-Fi was during business hours, I was download. So I downloaded it, and I could watch it several times.
Nice.
So,
Excellent.
yes, I shirked all my humanitarian responsibilities and caught up with the finale. No, I didn't.
I was prepared to make an excuse for you if need be, but
Yeah, if anyone's got a
You're
good
a good
excuse, I
man.
would say that would be the one.
Right. I was like, listen, I know I'm supposed to be at the clinic today, but Kenobi.
it's the finale.
Sorry.
Have you guys watched it again since finishing it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
times?
Once through. It was I wanted to see if I had the same impact with seeing Qui-Gon at the end.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
And-
did it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm actually curious what you guys thought about Qui-Gon at the end, since you mentioned
Oh,
it, Charles.
he needed a towel and everything else. I mean, it was.
Oh, in what manner?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, well,
no,
fine.
it's yeah. Qui-Gon's like his, his hall pass, I guess. I don't know.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
no.
Oh my god. I'm
Yes,
dead.
I knew that the whole series he was looking forward to that.
Mhm.
And if it didn't happen, it would have been a huge misstep. But I love the character of Kenobi,
Mhm.
and I just, my main takeaway from the series was how he got from, being at the top with the the Jedi Temple and the Council and everything to being in hiding and all that transition to where we see him as a hermit in A New Hope. So, I was
Mhm.
really driven by the idea of that. And we got glimpses of that, but most of it was not about that, which, I'm fine with as long as they explore it in season 2. It's fine.
Oh, he's gunning for a season 2.
Of course he is. It's no
Of
surprise.
course.
He's got the whole plot written out already.
Well, what about you, Charles? Do you hope there's a season 2?
No, I think that I'm okay with where it ended. I found that the as satisfying as Obi-Wan and Vader's duel ended, and how
Mhm.
they how they split and how they moved on, can be seen as a bit clunky in the sense that, well, why would you just leave him in a hole, and why would you leave him where? I get the story parts and their motivations, and that scene with Vader and the Emperor purely defines that, because that one moment you can, if Vader wasn't wearing his armor, you could literally see his Adam's apple go up and down, like when the Emperor called him out on his motivation.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So you see why he was clouded that way. So I totally get that. But if they do a second season, Vader can't be in there, and
Yeah.
No, it
Because-
would be Obi-Wan's vision quest.
yeah, and it could be side things, yeah. But I love the way it ended. I was satisfied with the way the series ended, and if we don't get another one, I'm happy, because I love the way it ended, and like with Leia and the way he spoke to her, and it's like we have to be careful. All those things just slide so beautifully
Mhm.
into A New Hope, and I was happy with that.
Were any tears shed? Because we cried.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
for
it
sure.
was
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was moving.
Yes.
As soon as
Did
they
you
started
cry,
playing the Leia theme, I lost my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad that 2 women and 2 men can sit here and say that it brought us all to tears
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
unabashedly,
Yeah.
and they did a phenomenal job.
I mean, they built up Qui-Gon so much throughout the series, of course, when he was calling to him at various
I
different
kind of wish we
stages.
would have heard his voice, but I'm fine with a vision at the end.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about just
Mhm.
the voice, like a Obi-Wan voice versus
Yeah.
a pure apparition or a presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
when
Lauren and
he-
I kind of explored that in one of our episodes about,
Mhm.
how would we have, I guess, pictured Qui-Gon differently. But beggars cannot be choosers. So I'm just happy we got him. And they had an exchange at the end, and they rode off into the sunset.
Yeah, got a long way to go. Yeah.
Was there anything that you were really hoping to get out of the show that you didn't get?
Well, there was a lot of emphasis on other people, and
Mhm.
that in some respects took away from all the story that could have been told otherwise.
Totally.
And so that kind of, for me, was like, oh, well, I thought I was watching Obi-Wan Kenobi and not Reva and the fake Jedi. That's one of the things that I was like, oh, well, I'd like more sort of story centric on kind of what he's going through and what he's, and the flashbacks were great, and sort of looking to the future and setting those pieces in place was fantastic. But yeah, there was a lot that like you'd think they would not kind of sacrifice Obi-Wan's story for some of these other plot points.
That's a really, really interesting, good point.
You see the payoff for Leia being such an important character and a wonderful exploration of her character when she's young, and then
amazing.
You know, that vision that he has when he's buried under the stones.
Yeah,
that's one of the last things he sees before he bursts out of it. So you see that importance of her character for Obi-Wan. So you get where those sort of they pay off at the end, even with Reva and her sort of redemption. Is that going to be something that's going to be in the future? Maybe she reappears somewhere along the way. So there's a point and a destination to all the extra characters. But yeah, I agree with Pat in the sense that it could have been a lot more Obi-Wan centric, and 80% him and 20% of the other ones as he's moving through things. But yeah, I mean, one of the unexpected things that I got was the brutality of Vader and how he's like that was phenomenal. I mean, scary.
That was
but phenomenal.
everything.
Yeah. It was fun to feel like physically afraid of him I was afraid of him in Rogue One, but otherwise, like, not really in the original trilogy. He's more mysterious than terrifying. And in this show, he was downright fucking terrifying.
Yeah, they brought it. They brought it.
Yeah.
But they did so, because there's always my fear of, like, don't overdo it. Don't make it silly. Don't make it, you have to tread a line when it comes to Vader, I feel, because he's built up so much that you don't want to knock it down. And I think they did it just right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was brutal, and yet, in the mind, he's obsessed, and it's great to see that kind of anger just come out. And to your point, Charles, when Obi-Wan had the rocks on him, I always took it as the symbol of the weight of the Skywalkers on him, but he uses the Skywalkers to then liberate him.
Oh wow.
Which I always thought, like, if he's going to think about anything down there and it's going to bring him joy, it's those two kids, because those are his calling, or his new path, his
purpose,
his purpose. Thank you. And
yeah,
I thought it was a good use, because, to be buried alive would be terrible, but he was using all that strength and then just liberated himself by the Skywalkers, turning a whole page over.
Yeah. And it was Anakin Skywalker who buried him in the first place.
Yeah.
Wow. Those Skywalkers.
I mean, they are messy and awful, and he is bound to them for a lifetime, even after death.
Yeah, ghost time, too. He's...
No rest for Kenobi. I really, not to bring it down, but I really wanted to see, and Lauren and I have gone over this 1,000 times, I really wanted to see more of the suffering after he got drugged through the fire glass, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It's kind of just passed over real fast. I wanted a little bit more of that 80-20, like you said, 80% Kenobi, 20% everything else. We could have just added like 5% more there.
Yeah.
Not have been happy,
but
again, nitpicky.
Yeah.
Not disappointed at all with what we got.
Well, they kind of spent the first couple of episodes establishing a more, character-driven story. And then they kind of just stopped right there and went into more like action-based after that. And it's like, this is the moment where it should have been more emotional. Like, what are you guys doing? He literally faced his fears for the first time in 10 years, was physically injured during the process, has a little bath and a bacta tank, and is all of a sudden a Jedi again. He's totally fine. I just like, come the fuck on, guys. Can we just have had one moment of like torment?
Yeah. Maybe we're just masochists. I don't know, but we want to see the man more tormented.
You've seen that meme going around, right? Of like others fandoms. People are like, my favorite character in the Star Wars fandom is like, hurt my character.
Yeah. I love it so much. It's so applicable.
But it's I almost make it akin to when the opening of the series itself, and how brilliant it was with the music and the replay of Revenge of the Sith, and then you see the Kresh was being attacked and all that, and you get that emotional sense, and you're immediately planted why Obi-Wan is like this. You can see why he's downtrodden. It's all these memories, but maybe seeing him personally experience that versus flashbacks of where sort of he came from would have been more. And when he first faced Vader, of course he was manhandled with Vader's lightsaber play. Then the second time he's got his lightsaber out, he's doing better when he's in the Inquisitorium, whatever that place was called, where he's actually now starting to deflect the bolt. So you see that progression. He's starting to get his mojo back into until the end. But it's a few quick jumps there.
But then he's like stronger than ever before in the last episode. It was that I felt was so satisfying because in Clone Wars, we see him do all this crazy stuff, but this is the first time in live action where he does like crazy shit, and it was so satisfying to see. Can you tell I'm passionate about it?
None of us had any idea.
It's hot in here, right?
It's real hot in Kenobi land. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the Owen and Beru were also a wonderful surprise. How phenomenal they were, and how
fantastic, and how much they loved Luke.
Oh, it's so true. Yeah,
fiercely protective. I loved that.
Yeah, to finally see Owen actually being like, and to say Luke is mine. He is my family, because you forget that sometimes in A New Hope when they're just butting heads all the time. It's like that comes from a place of love. He's trying to protect him. I thought that was really nice. And Beru just pulling out the shotguns, ready to defend the home.
She was ready. Damn. I even sat back in my chair like, this is great.
Taking charge.
She's ready.
And she's got the whole plan. It's like she planned it out. It's almost like she put the shotgun where it needed to be. What else are we gonna do? It's happening. We gotta do what we gotta do. That's phenomenal.
Well, it's very reminiscent of Jin's beginning as her childhood, where her parents enacted the plan of okay, we got to get her to safety in case something happens, and
it's a very smart transition, Leanne.
Galen and the wife.
That's a very good transition.
It's almost like we do this. The Ursos had a plan, same as the Skywalkers, and that brings us to the next show awaiting us, the Andor series. Who's hyped? Show of hands.
Absolutely.
I'm hyped.
All of our hands are up.
Now, Pat, am I correct in saying that you haven't seen any of the trailers?
Well, that is correct. However, I did see Rogue One. So,
a long trailer.
I do have an idea. Yes. No, I have not seen any of the trailers for
by
Andor.
choice or just by okay.
By choice. Oh, please. You go online and there's trailers everywhere. And that's been kind of a downfall for me in terms of when you're excited about something and then you see major plot points or key shots and things like that in the trailers, and then you're like, oh, it's awesome, and then you see the show and it's either too much has been given away by the trailer, or you just get get a different vibe than you're intended to for marketing purposes or whatever. So I actively try to avoid those things.
Fair enough.
I watched the teaser for Kenobi, which was basically the sand and then the logo and then the sound of a lightsaber igniting, I guess. So it's not much to spoil there. Yeah. So in that regard, I think, and both of us tend to not want to oversaturate ourselves ahead of a film or a show, really for the intention of not tainting the experience.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to expect.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, I made the choice not to look at anything when it came to the Star Cruiser, and it was all whoa to me. So I totally get that. I think
with Andor, we kind of have... You and I talked about this before, Leanne, that there's less expectations. No one really knows what to expect. So I think they have a little bit less pressure, maybe I'm wrong, than like the Kenobi series where everybody has something they want out of that. And Andor, I'm kind of just like, I just can't wait to see what they're gonna do. I don't even have a clue of what I wish the show would give me. I'm just kind of interested to see what they're gonna do. Do you guys have any expectations or any predictions of what you think the show is gonna have?
Well, I'll start by saying, since Pat hasn't seen the trailers, I have a one-time rule. So I watched the teaser trailer by mistake because I started seeing it in autoplay. So I just watched it. And then I knew the other one came out, so I got my wife and I think my daughter's boyfriend wanted to see it as well. One night we watched on the screen, we watched it. And I could say from the first trailer, which was sort of very quick and short, I'm like, okay, that's not sort of what I was expecting. I got a sort of a weird sort of ethereal feeling from it, more highbrow. It's like, okay. Then the second one certainly grounded me and made me extremely excited for it. And so, not to say anything that I've seen in it, I think that already from what I've seen, it's hitting all the marks. And I keep thinking, hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
I think what resonates in my head.
I just joined in.
Mark, we always say when we see Mark written down, it's Mark Hamill. Hey, Mark. It's always a throw.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I've been doing this since I was 6 years old. Keeps coming back in my mind, and that's where this series is leading. I'm looking forward to that.
Did we have that joke? What was that joke you made last week?
What did I say? No, I can't remember.
What did you say?
He's old, Pat. No.
I know. Last weekend we were saying something about, you said, I've been wearing capes since I was 6 years old.
I love a good cape.
We were talking about capes when you were here, Leanne, because we were saying Lando was wearing a beautiful cape. And like, he just has a skill. He also probably wore capes when he was 6 years old. Let's not fool ourselves.
Exactly. It was a Lando
Absolutely.
reference. I've been wearing capes since I was 6 years old.
because he had the Andor figure, and then it was the eyeglass.
That's right.
It's like perfect.
Oh.
Like it's perfect.
That's right.
How obscure.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I'll show you that picture. I have it right here.
Oh, wait, you have it?
Of course, I have it.
I love that he comes ready with pictures always.
He doesn't know the reference I'm making, but he got the picture.
We had brought figures. Of course, we went on vacation, and we bring our Star Wars figures to take pictures with them. So we had Rex from Rebels, and he has his sort of, cape sort of stuff. And I brought my eyeglass cleaner because they get dirty very quickly. And so Andor and Rex were on the table when I went to bed. And then in the morning, I wake up and he sends me this picture.
Oh! The listeners can't see it, but we may post it. We may share this.
I will send it
after the episode. It's great. They bring figures everywhere they go. It's great.
Awesome.
So always opportunities for photos. Yeah.
Of course. Getting back to topic, I look forward to some gritty sort of espionage, spy movie stuff, because we haven't seen that in Star Wars really, and this just seems like the perfect conduit for that.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a seedy underbelly of the rebellion that we've not seen.
Right.
And I'm into that.
Yes. The gray area.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you see it in Rogue One.
I mean, other than, exactly.
Right. So it's like, it lends itself to be sort of one of the requisites for the show, because, it's kind of, he even, alludes in the film that these are the things you have to do to get things done. Someone has to get their hands dirty to some degree in order to not only survive, but to get some of the the intel that they would need and the upper hand in some ways to stand a chance against the Empire that's got unlimited resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it brings to question something that we see repeatedly in Star Wars is the question of how far are you willing to go, and does that make it right?
Ooh,
And if you think about it, like that goes back to the Jedi Council interrogating Ahsoka. It goes to, questions of that Anakin made and Obi-Wan, and like, it's just what the Republic versus the Separatists, and does it all, if your goal is, good and untarnished, does the means to the end justify it? And I think it's going to play a big part in the show, and I'm excited for it because I love the way Diego Luna he wavers in that right up until the end in Rogue One. So I don't think it's going to be an easy thing for him. He's going to struggle, and I want to see struggle. We love struggle.
Well, and he's such a good actor for portraying that as well. Like he has the way he acts with his eyes and just a look he'll give somebody. It's so nuanced. I think it's really exciting that he has his own show. And I don't know. I'm very excited.
And he seems so excited.
I know. Oh my gosh. He was so, at Celebration, he was like buoyant. Like he was floating on the stage. He was so excited to be there. It was really cute.
I love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we got a taste of that, of course, like in Rogue One. But when he used his blaster to shoot the guy who was not going to be able to make it over the wall, you got that very small taste of it.
Yeah.
But what Kenobi, the series Kenobi, helped with was seeing that really surprisingly dark side of Vader, like we talked about. If they're willing to go there with Vader in this sort of insulated Kenobi series, what does it mean then for this Andor series, which from what I understand, is at least 2 seasons or more?
Yeah.
They're giving them runway. Like there's plenty of stories, so they're not boxed in by any sort of, bookends. I mean, of course, they have the bookend of them dying. Spoiler alert. Yeah. But beyond that,
we've already seen that happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna float this out there right now. I don't think that we're gonna see Cassian Andor die in the series.
Oh, okay. That's safe. That's a safe bet.
Diego Luna said this at Celebration. He was like, at least I know they're not going to kill me off.
Yay.
He's going to make it all the way.
Plot armor.
All 24 episodes. He's going to be there. So. No, I'm sure there's going to be sad endings. There is no way there's not going to be some sort of, because especially if you look at this as kind of like equating to like the beginning of the Nazis, and the underground that was taking place. The stakes were so high. It wasn't just that, like, if you get captured, maybe they torture you. It'd be like, no, they would take your whole family, and it's like, I have a feeling we'll see stuff like that in this show, which is going to be horrific, but it will make sense why people are so willing to sacrifice so much for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we saw the top.
And did either of you guys read the Ahsoka novel by chance?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try not to give too much away for those who haven't read it, but you know how they kind of play and put an emphasis on how much the Empire strips away from planets and communities, and I think we're going to see a lot of that too, just how much they took, because we see it with Jeddah. But I think we're going to see it on a much larger scale, just how like brutal they are as an entity. And I'm into that too, because I want to see how the Empire handles it. Because, I was going to say something that's in the trailer, but I don't want to ruin it for you, Pat. But there's a scene in a place.
I mean, I don't remember the trailer, so.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm trying not to. Think back to the prequels. There's a key location in the prequels that they show in the trailer. Everybody know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Except for Pat? Okay. I want to see this and how they kind of exude their flamboyance as a newly instated, main entity in the galaxy. I want to see them have a misstep or two.
Right.
Because they get too arrogant or something.
Big,
I don't know. Too big, yeah.
So, it's interesting, the whole idea of the Empire stripping resources from planets. It was made mention in Kenobi when he's like, "Oh, this place used to not look like this," and then in the novel A New Dawn about Kanan and Hera, there is a planet and its moon that are being mined for an ore that the Empire is using. And it comes to a point where they're like, we could just blow this thing up and then just harvest the ore. It's like, that's a planet that has people on it, like millions of people. And so it just goes to show that they are so devoid of any sort of conscience when it comes to the effects of their greed, really.
Yeah. Perfectly said.
And that's why it takes the dark underbelly to make that happen, to make any, like, sort of move the needle against them, because we see the top level heroes like Leia and Han and Luke and, you know, the leaders and the people in the ships on the shiny transport ships, but, you know, then you have Cassian, who's on the ground on the boots in the dark alleys,
the worker bees.
That's, oh man, I can't wait.
It takes a lot. I'm excited. Like you guys said, it's something we haven't seen before, and they have a lot of wiggle room and a lot of episodes. So
a lot of time to get characters in there that we don't know yet, get endeared to, and then ooh,
come off, make us pay,
and then, well,
there shall be no attachment to characters or anyone.
Speaking of Game of Thrones,
yes,
this seems to be the route that they could go.
That hurt, but you're right.
Listen, sometimes the truth hurts.
She's still my queen. I don't care.
Kenobi always pays his
The
debts.
end. That's it. Oh, God. Oh, the cross references. We could go on for days.
That's where you're wrong. A Kenobi doesn't have debts.
Ooh. And Onaka never pays his debts.
Andor's been paying his debts since he was 6 years old.
I don't know of a better ending than that to this entire episode.
All right, so we have rapid fire questions. So, Charles, you'll go first. Pat, you'll go second.
Okay.
What character would you marry?
Hera.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you
kind of did.
Hera.
Aww.
It's true.
Aww.
That's true.
She's my general.
Precious.
I'd like to say Leia, but she's probably too strong and independent for me.
Hey, don't think too much into these. These are just off the cuff.
Yeah, all right. Leia.
Okay.
Or I should say Duchess Satine, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, there you go. Ooh, the accent.
Okay, this one, I think we know the answers to this. Are you a Jedi or a Sith?
Definitely Jedi.
Yeah, Jedi.
Right. Because you're
Right.
dressed
Right.
as Obi-Wan Kenobi right now. So.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
in my defense, I'm almost always dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's just true. I've never seen you not dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi, so
With that beard, you always got a foot in the door.
That's right.
it's true.
Okay. Which version of Obi-Wan do you like best? The prequels, Clone Wars, original trilogy, well, I guess, or the Kenobi show now? You can add that in there.
Mm.
Yeah. I would say Clone Wars.
Ditto.
Mm.
Very nice.
Yeah, like Clone Wars Kenobi
us too.
is totally where it's at.
And his depth of character that we get, you know, not taking anything away from anything else, the depth of character that we get from him in that show is just unbeatable.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
James.
Unmatched.
And the quips.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fabulous.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Quips for days.
All right, what's your favorite Obi-Wan hair? Padawan, BG mullet, or Clone Wars?
The mullet is its own category.
Episode 3/Clone Wars. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to add in my own write-in, and given my current head state, I'm going to go with Reiko Hardin.
Reiko Hardin!
Oh my god!
Nice.
Reiko Hardin!
Baldy Wan.
He's had his hair
I
vacuumed
love
right
it.
off his head.
Yes, right off.
Yeah, most people don't know
Excellent
this,
choice.
but Charles was actually the beta tester for that technology.
Oh, it makes total
I was just in the
sense.
chair, just like doing a 3D scan. You know, it was very cool.
I see it in the profile.
There you go.
Okay, if you could wear one costume from all of Star Wars, which would it be? But you guys already have costumes.
We do. However, that doesn't stop us from wanting more.
This is true.
Yes.
This is very true. No holds bar. Like anything you want, what would you want to wear?
Slave Leia. No, stop it.
I didn't. I see that.
Stop it. No.
Why?
I'm working on a Galaxy's Edge Hondo Onaka.
Ooh, that's really cool.
Ooh.
I already have the Clone Wars version, but when you can have more, why
Wow,
not?
that's good.
More of Hondo is always
Great.
good.
Always.
When someone says there's more Hondo, I always say yes.
That's great. What about you, Charles?
That's a great question. I think one day I would love to have a classic TK like Stormtrooper set. I just think they're so
Nice.
iconic.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it's so well designed. That would be a cool thing. So,
Nice.
just to have, yeah.
I figured you for more of a
you-
snowtrooper kind of guy.
Well, there's more coverage, you know, and the snowtrooper has like the drape, and I already die of sweat, so I figure if I can pop it off more easily, I may last an extra half hour.
The drape.
Little
love
turtleneck
that.
thing, whatever, down there.
It's a dickie, Charles. A
Dickie, there you go. Thank you.
It's a dickie.
It's a dicky, it is.
I was gonna say cravat, but Dickie, that's totally it.
Cravata's far too fancy.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, last question. If you could be any character in all of Star Wars, who would you want to be?
I'm gonna go Qui-Gon.
Very
Fabulous.
nice.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Pat.
Yep.
I think the clear answer is Babu Frick.
Damn, I was way off.
Either that or Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my
Excellent.
god.
Either or.
Either or.
Yeah.
It's an even tie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're on that scale very evenly. 17 Babus and 1 Obi-Wan.
17 Babus.
Now, please promote anything and everything that you would like. Now, please.
Okay. Well, Charles is doing a new how-to series on YouTube where he.
I was gonna say, keep
That
going.
he doesn't know about.
Keep going.
Okay, so it's a how-to series on maple syrup, and no,
Beard maintenance.
beer maintenance. Yes. Oh man. I guess for real, we have like socials and stuff. So
Yes.
Absolutely. Where can everyone enjoy your content?
all right, we are on the internet at ConverSWations.com. We have a Facebook.com/ConverSWations, @Swations on Twitter, ConverSWations on Instagram. We have a Linktree, link.tree/ConverSWations, and we are part of the Red 5 podcast network at bio.link/Red5.
Nice.
We love the Red 5 fam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are a good bunch. And we also have our t-shirt thing on Zazzle.
It's not on topic.
Ooh,
It's not canon. But yes, we do have a t-shirt shop on Zazzle. That is the current place that hasn't kicked us off yet.
The
for
current
our,
place.
copyright infringed design. But yes.
Creative expression designs.
Yes.
there you go.
100% designed by us, and we always get great feedback when we wear them out and people see them. But yeah, we haven't had much success in finding a stable place. So, but yes, so Zazzle.com, I think /ConverSWations, or yeah.
And since our last meeting, I've been thinking about this one for a while.
Ooh.
Yes, he knows what's coming.
What?
Greetings. This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're listening to Most Things Kenobi.
Okay, we gotta use that.
Oh my god, that came out so good.
Oh my god, that was great.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. So next week we have a hilarious topic for you. Well, it might be hilarious. It's going to at least be entertaining at the very
We
least.
assume.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Rogue One characters and characters from A New Hope and what jobs the main characters would have if they lived in our universe here and now.
Yes, it's gonna, and we're not preparing for this. We're going straight off the cuff.
Yeah.
We know the characters we're gonna talk about, but we're gonna go completely random. What are their jobs?
It should be pretty funny, I think.
It should be ridiculous, really. And, you know, since Andor is up and coming, we'll talk about our Rogue One friends.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Most Things Kenobi podcast. We appreciate every single one of our patrons and are grateful for your support. If you'd like to support the podcast and become a patron as well, head over to the Most Things Kenobi Patreon page. As always, you can follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you enjoy our podcast, feel free to rate us on Spotify and Apple. And if you need just one place to find all of these, head over to mostthingskenobi.com.
So until next time, my space twin, may the Force be with you.
Always.